What's up? One day we discovered punk rock, and from there it became, you know, we got into hardcore, and we found out there was a hardcore scene in New York. Started going to shows, and it was just a place where you could be accepted for who you are. You didn't have to fit a mold or anything, even though as soon as you went there, everybody cut their hair and everything, but it was just, you know, it was just it became a ritual every Sunday. Go to the matinee, see the bands, whoever was playing, just to hang out with your friends. And it was like it became a very family-oriented thing. And it got bigger and bigger, and your family, the hardcore family got bigger and bigger. So to us, and we try to keep that with us today, that whole image of trying not to separate the band and the audience, even though like at a festival that's impossible, but we try to keep the attitude that way. You know, we don't talk down to the audience, we don't, you know, we don't make ourselves out to be these untouchable stars, you know, like a lot of bands do in other forms of music. So to us, hardcore was just really an attitude. It was like, you know, a no bullshit attitude, you know, just straightforward. Another aspect of hardcore that was, you know, people looked at the image. They saw big guys, tattoos, you know, shaved heads or, you know, crazy hair, whatever. And they thought it was a very macho thing, and it's not. It's what I was just telling you about. You know, it's got to be a community thing. And some bands don't understand that, and their way of understanding it is they think of the community as, oh, like a gang, and they think that's what it's like, and it's not that either, you know? There's always been crews and cliques, and, you know, I guess you could call them gangs in hardcore scenes, but they were never vicious and violent towards each other until like 89 through 93 in New York. That was a vicious period, and just fighting all the time at the shows. You couldn't have a decent show. But that drove away a lot of people from hardcore. Not just girls, not just, you know, but it drove away a lot of people. Well, like any movement, any musical movement, it becomes a trend after a while, because once it gets exposed to more people, once you go from the center, the further out you get, the further away from the main idea. But we try to use our popularity to try and explain these ideas. And hopefully, I mean, when we play to bigger audiences, at least say like, you know, some of the new kids will dig deeper and see that it's more than just this week's trend, you know. It's more than having that cool pair of Vans and that, you know, chain wallet, and that there's a lot more to it. And then, like I said before, it's about respecting each other. It's about, you know, the kids looking out for each other, so you don't have to go to shows where there's 200 bouncers at the club, you know, that throw you around. And, you know, it's you know, like I said, hopefully after the trend dies down, some of those people will stay, and I think the core kids will always stay, you know, the ones who were out there from the beginning, or anybody who can identify with it, because not everybody can identify with being an outcast, you know, nobody wants to be an outcast, but that's why I got into hardcore and punk, because I didn't fit with the regular mold, you know. to go see the Cromags back in the day when they were together, and nobody could, them and Agnostic Front were the bands that you just released all your energy, just angry, going crazy, but still nobody really hurt each other, you know? There, you might elbow somebody by accident, but you always turned and said, oh, you okay, right? And there was never a fight. And I'm talking to, how can there be fights at some of these bands who are horrible and kids would be beating each other up to their music, and man, I'm like, man, this band doesn't inspire me to even get off out of my seat, you know? Cromags inspired you, like, you just had energy when they played Bad Brains too, you know? The further you get out from the heart of it, you know, the more people just come into it, you know, they just gotta learn, you know, you just gotta teach them. That's the only way you can tell them, is like, hey, just relax, you know? You gotta keep telling them, but there's some people who won't understand when you tell them, that's just an image. It's like kids who believe that, like, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre are gangsters. Give me a break, if they were gangsters, what the hell are they doing on videos and on fucking, you know, on records? They'd be in jail. They'd be running their gangs if they were gangsters, you know? And there's people who buy those images that are insane. And then some of the artists have to feel that they gotta portray them. It's like somebody like Tupac who has to go to jail, you know? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna prove how bad I am, I'll be in jail. You don't wanna go to jail, it's not a nice place. Whenever we'd go to shows at the matinees, my roommate would come with us, and she's a girl, that's why I call her she, and the joke would be like, hey, could you hold my jacket? And then 5 guys, she'd go, yeah, and then every guy that was there would pile their jackets under her, you know, she'd just stand on top of like 20 jackets and watch the show. But there were girls that danced. There were girls in the New York scene, this girl named Alexa, who's all over. She was like on the Warzone record cover, because she used to dance hard and crazy, you know? Like, most girls don't want to get pushed around like that. And I think it's, girls have a place in hardcore as much as anybody else. To us, we try to always emphasize that we want girls up front singing along, you know? We want them, you know, I'm sure they have to release frustration as much as everybody else. I think more so, in the way most men are, you know, assholes. Me being a man can vouch for that, you know?
I think hardcore is really an American thing. Hardcore came from like the punk rock movement from like England, and you know, Europe definitely, you know, had the punk rock thing. And the punk rock thing was in America too for a short time, but it kind of it evolved into hardcore. It became less political and more
it was like a different strain that came out of the hardcore.
Yeah, it was more just
street-oriented.
Yeah. I mean, punk rock I think was always kind of street too, but hardcore in America was always just more just about you know, rebellion. It's just, you know, that's really what it all comes down to. Rebellion about, you know, like doing things the way you want to do them, not doing them because people are telling you how to do it. You know what I mean? And now there's there's a wide variety of styles. There's people who are into hardcore, a certain type called straight edge, who don't drink, then they don't like any of that, they don't eat meat. And then there's people who have nothing to do with that, who drink and, you know, do whatever. So it's pretty widespread right now, and it's worldwide.
Way over 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, the punk rock movement came out about 1977,
like the New
and
York
hardcore probably really came around like 1980. So we're going on 16 years now. It's had a lot of its ups and downs. So it's a genuine movement, you know what I mean? It's been put to the test. It came close to dying out, but it's more than alive and kicking than it's ever been now. And it's great to see.
I mean, from what I remember, it was always like, it was small, the hardcore scene. When I remember it, when I was younger, seeing it, it was in the New York scene, it was very like a small scene. Everybody knew each other. It was like a very family-oriented type thing. And I mean, it's kind of coming back to that now, '96. You know, because a lot of the bands, they're friends. You know, somebody in the band. I'm friend with the singer of Marauder. You know, like everybody's friends in one way or another. So it's like that family unit thing is coming back, which is cool because the scene is very widespread now. A lot of people don't know each other, and there's New York scene, there's Pennsylvania scene, there's all kinds of scene. You know, it's like a family thing. You know, you meet people, they understand. You know, it's a place where you go and everybody there knows. You know, can relate through the music. You know, through the scene. We might be totally different. We might live different lifestyles outside of there, but once you get in the club, you're there to see the bands, you're there to have a good time. You can all relate. You know, the tattoos, everybody knows, you know, you're not looked upon as a strange person or whatever. When you walk out the door, you might, but once you're in there, it's like, it don't matter. You can just let loose, be yourself, go out, dance, let some aggression out, you know. It's a cool thing, it really is.
In hardcore, typically, you really should look out for each other. You know what I mean? In the music industry can be a very rotten thing. You know, it's real like competitive, and people will, you know, take money and take advantage of other people. Whereas in hardcore, we're not in it for the money.
It always started out as a very
we're not in it for the money. Like we're Madball, right? We're friends with 25 to Life or Crown of Thorns. We're also bands from New York City. We try to help each other. We get shows for each other. We always promote each other. We stick together. You know what I mean? If there's one, we don't let big business come in and manipulate us. You know what I mean? And we do it ourselves.
You know, sometimes bigger, the industry gets in there, but
on our terms, not on theirs.
Yeah, but exactly like he said, it's got to be on our terms. You know what I mean? Like, you can't let them get in there and just like tell you what to do and change your whole thing around, because it's a whole lifestyle. You know, it ain't just the music itself. It's, you know, where you live, an attitude, and a lot of things. You know, and you can't let them come in there and like tell you what to do. That's why a lot of hardcore bands sometimes will get on them because, oh, you signed to this label, you signed to that label. But I mean, I believe if the band is staying true to themselves and being true to what they do and to the scene, you ain't selling out. As long as you tell them what to do.
Our music to just like certain crowds, and then like, okay, well, I don't really think they're hardcore, so I don't want them here, right? I mean, anyone's welcome to come along, but it's not for everybody. Eventually, some people are gonna say, they're gonna realize that there's more to it than just the music, and they may like become part of the lifestyle, or they'll just move on. And that happens all the time.
There's trends in every style of music, every scene, everywhere, all over the world, you know, not just in hardcore and everything. You know, some people find it interesting one day, they want to see what it's about, whatever, and, you know, then you see like a week later they're not there no more. You know, that's you know, that's how you weed out the trendy people, you know. But like he said, you know, the doors are open in hardcore, you know what I mean? Come check it out, you know. If you like it, you know, look into the roots of the music, you know, maybe grab some old classic albums and, you know, check them out and see where all of it, how it started, and, you know, from then till now. You know what I mean? It's the problem with a lot of kids. Some people here, they only heard of Madball. They never heard of Agnostic Front. They never heard of
They don't know the
Negative Approach.
They don't know the difference between Madball and, say, I don't know. Pantera. You know what I mean?
That's two different worlds.
That's not to say that Pantera is not a good band or whatever.
They're a good band in their own right,
but it's a very different. It's just a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Hardcore's a very
I mean, hardcore is it's a tight knit social group. You know what I mean? I mean, we there's no big business going on in there. Like we're all friends with each other. I'm not gonna try and outdo these guys, and I don't want my sound man to make sure that my volume's louder than theirs. Yeah, anyone's welcome. We're all here to have a good time. You know what I mean?
And that all.
And that's the difference between our type of get-togethers and, say, like a big metal show where it's just all about fucking
makeup and this and that and the other thing, and like hardcore was never about that. That's why it's a cool thing, because it's about just whatever.
Stripped
working
down, it's
people,
raw.
people that are poor, people that work hard for a living, people that are rich. It don't matter. I mean, if you're real, you know what I mean. I'm a lot different than a lot of people in the scene. I do my own things, you know, but it's all races, all everything, you know. Everybody's welcome. It's like you can go like this, you know. See how I'm dressed? That's how I would dress anyways. You can dress how you want. You don't have to be cool. You don't have, you know. Nowadays, as the years went on, it started getting more flashy. You know, it started, you know, a lot of the more, you know, how would you say, clothes style? Yeah, because back, even when it first started, nobody, you know.
But then in those days, you had the crazy hairdos more. You know, it used to be more of the punk rock thing.
It's just a style change.
And now, you know, I mean, I've been into this since, you know, how many years? A good 10 years now. And I've seen a lot of different changes. But at the same time, I know that whatever I'm doing is because I want to do it, because it's in my heart, not because I want to be like.
I gotta wear these shoes.
I seen it on the cover of this magazine. I gotta wear it because that's like the newest, coolest thing.
Some people.
Hardcore is not about that.
To us, at least, you know, we can only speak for ourselves, and we can only tell you, you know, talk to you about hardcore from what we, you know, from our aspect of it. We can't speak for everybody, but I mean, I think we've all been in it long enough and seen it, you know, through different changes, where we could say, you know, have our opinions on it. You know, we're Madball. Personally, we're like most regular guys. You know what I mean? We don't think about clothing, anything like that. We just do what we do. That's it. What we write about, real life, things that affect us. That's what hardcore is to me. You know, just.
It's a good way if you got everyone's angry and frustrated about things in their lives. You know what I mean? Hardcore is always a way to go vent it out. You know, you get together a whole bunch of people who probably got the same angers and frustrations that you have. The band are the same people that are fans. I'm watching the bands that play before or after me. You know what I mean? If I'm not on stage, I'm watching the band and I'm dancing or whatever. You know, it's.
I like
you get your aggressions out, and that's what it's for. You know, that's really what it's for. People don't understand sometimes. It's the music. It's so angry. It's so blah blah blah. Well, yeah, but and no, we're not angry all the time, but that's what this style of music is for. It's to vent out aggression and frustration.
They go hand in hand. You know, they're aggressive style of music, whatever, and it's like it's in your face. It's up front. It's blunt. You know what I mean? To the point. That's, you know. Like you said, you vent out, you talk about things in life, you know, whatever. Whether it be negative or positive, just let it out, you know what I mean? Speak what you feel, you know? And, I mean, that's what we could say really for ourselves, right? You know, we're like, I mean, you know, I grew up listening to a lot of other things too, but I mean, hardcore is, you know, I'm a hardcore guy, you know what I mean? I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop, Spanish music, because I'm Spanish, you know, and those music, I love them too, but I consider myself a hardcore person. My lifestyle, you know, the way I go about things, is hardcore. Even if I'm not in a band. I don't have to be in a band or anything like that. Just go to a show and sit in the back, check it out, dance to my friends' bands, because I enjoy doing that. my friend is playing and I like the music, whenever I go in there, make, you know, get some aggression out, you know, sit down, relax, drink, you know. Great.
Hardcore today seems to be about like scribbling your name on a wall and table like a dog pissing on a tree. They're like animals. I've always said, if you associate yourself with shit, then that's what you're going to be. If you hang around with shit, if you live in shit, then you're going to be shit. And I think most of these people, they surround themselves with assholes, and they're going to be assholes. They forget what it's like in the real world to deal with real people, because they don't have to deal with real people. They've got their little crew and their friends, and they go around and do what they do without repercussion, because the other kids at the shows are too young to stand up to them. So they infiltrate the scene, and then they become the scene. They don't give a fuck about anything but themselves.
This is all the business. We came here because it's our job to come here, and we're getting paid for playing. That's business. You know, we have to pay the gas for the bus, which we pay for, and pay our bills when we get home. So it has to be a business, and it has to be organized as well. So it's not a bad thing that it becomes a business, but it's a bad thing when bands start getting involved in it to make money.
I don't care about selling records. I've always done this for the fun of it, and I've always said when it doesn't become fun anymore to play in front of an audience, I'll stop.
I'm not really talking, when I say fuck everything, I'm not saying anything really political. I say fuck everything because I want to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. I say fuck everything, meaning fuck censorship, fuck all that shit, you know, fuck, you know, I believe in artistic expression, you know, in art, music, and literature. I believe in you should be able to write or paint or sing about whatever the fuck you want, you know, I don't care, you know, if that's what you see, then that's what it is, man, you know, there shouldn't be any, you shouldn't have to keep anything hidden or closed because it might not appeal to a lot of people, you know what I mean? If you don't like a song, just change the fucking radio station. That's about it. I think every type of music should have its chance to get out there, you know, and that's what I mean by fuck everything. But as far as politics goes, you know, I'm not a nationalist, you know, or anything like that, despite what people may think, because I have a USA tattooed on my arm. I have USA tattooed on my arm for a reason. It's the people. It's the American way, you know. The American flag is not the fucking government. The government has nothing to do with the American flag. They just work and they run the whole show. But we can vote them in and out, you know what I mean? I mean, the government's really fucked up here in a lot of ways, you know. It's doing a lot of good things, but also it's doing a lot of bad things, you know. It's responsible for a lot of the drug trafficking, if not all of it, you know, and I'm against fucking the drug market. I really am. I think drugs are not worth it. But I'm not anarchistic at all. I don't believe in overthrowing government. I think a government, you know, we need a good government. Everybody needs a good government. You need to keep democracy, you know what I mean? I'm not really a political band. I don't want to get wrapped up in that politics, you know, especially now we're going on tour with the Exploited. People are going to say, wow, you know, these guys are really political, you know. No, we're not, man. We're singing about just life as we see it, you know what I mean?
Yo, I seen two motherfuckers getting ready to get into a fist fight here. We don't want none of that shit tonight. If you guys got problems with each other, you settle that shit some other time, not when the rest of us are trying to have a good time. I came too fucking far to watch people beat each other up in my gig. That's not cool.
Yeah, man, you guys know better than that.
Come on, man, we're fucking grown men here. We're grown-ups. We're fucking, well, at least some of us are. But, you know, that shit's played out, man.
Yo, man, I just want to say one thing. My last band that I was in played some pretty big places, man, but let me tell you something, energy in a room this size is what it's all about, man, I'm telling you. Keep coming to this club. Support this fucking club so they can buy a really good PA system so you can have better fucking shows here, man. And don't be fighting and fucking it up for everybody, alright? Peace, yo, thank you for coming.
All our words and everything are pretty much the same thing that they're going through, and they can relate to the songs, you know, and that's why they really dig it. And they come down and they fucking, you know, when they get up on the stage and they take that microphone and they sing those songs, man, you know, they're not just singing it because they like the songs, they're singing about it because, you know, because it happened to them last night, you know, or something like that. They know, they feel it, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them are my friends, you know. I go to shows and I'm, you know, they get members of Biohazard are in the crowd, and we're slamming, we're in the pit, we're diving off the stage, and then when we play, everybody comes to our shows, you know. We're the same as all those people.
First time I saw the Sex Pistols, I was blown away in punk rock music. After the punk rock music, 80% out of England and 20% out of America with circle jerks and germs and things like that, Dead Kennedys. I rather the GBH, Champ 69, all the old stuff from England, Clash, Damned. The punk rock movement in England died and in my eyes became too political, and you can say it in both ways. Too many political movements started to grow into the punk rock music. That goes me in the direction to the oi music in England. There's non-political thoughts, but a lot of friendship, comradeship, togetherness. And I talk about bands like Cockney Rejects, the Foreskins, bands like that, Cock Sparrow, The Business. After that, it's the same thing what happened in punk rock music, only with another direction, that the right-wing movement came along the oi scene, and I always thought oi music was too real for the real people, and the thing was with the political shit, the papers and every newspapers grow into it, and that scene died. And I think a lot of people in Europe who follow that oi and punk scene had a sort of identity was blown away because there was no records coming out anymore. And then we got interested in the so-called hardcore, with 70% out of New York, with bands like Negative Approach, Cromag, Rest in Pieces, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front for sure, Murphy's Law. That had the same comradeship and friendship as the oi movement and punk movement had, where we believed in. And that connection, for a lot of European fans, I think, brought me, like the Age of Quarrel album from Cromag, in a different way of music, but with the same comrade, respect, integrity that we had in the English scene. And that musically maybe it was more different, was more aggressive, more faster, but it had the same outweigh, the same as till the new Madball album. Could it be an oi album too? And that's the thing that I grew up in 81, 82, 83, 84 with also the American oi and American punk rock and American hardcore. And then for me those words are equal, for me are the same. If you believe in yourself, and for me it's a positive way of looking in life, for me it's hardcore. You know, it's a feeling of friendship, integrity and respect. That's hardcore.
If you don't listen to the music, you could still be hardcore in the sense that you're an individual, you know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with it, being an individual who doesn't really care what society wants you to conform to or expects of you.
birthday today. He's 27 years old. Thanks for living through the fucking bottle of water up here, Dick. And this is Jenny. He's got a little song for us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arthur. Happy birthday to you.
It's a lifestyle within yourself, within your spirit of who you are. You understand what I mean? You're different. You're not like a robot. You're not programmed by anyone. You're like your own person. You're a free-thinking individual. I think hardcore is about being a free-thinking individual, and I think a large part of hardcore is all about conformity. And that's where I think that you talked about people yell and scream one thing, but they do another. It's because a lot of people are just following the leader, you know what I mean? Instead of doing their own thinking for themselves. I think a lot of that has to do with age, too, though. I think a lot of young kids that come into the scene think it's cool, this and that, just like I did when I first came around, you know? A lot of it had to do with I liked it, I thought it was cool, I felt like I fit in. But as you get, I think maybe, you know, as you get more mature that you, I don't know, you either grow out of it or you grow more into it and learn more. You know what I'm saying? It becomes more a part of you than some fashion, you know? But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like everybody has their own head for what's going on, you know. But I'm very happy when somebody just appreciates it. You know what I mean? Appreciates the work you put in. They say thank you. I enjoyed that. You know, or like you wrote this song that made me. I could relate to it. It made me feel. You know, I understood what you were saying. That's a lot to do with my life. You're like, makes you feel good. You know, someone understands what you're trying to say. It's about communication. Yeah, communication and understanding between people, regardless of like appearance or whatever, style, you know what I mean? It's about like bass communication. I'm not talking about bass guitar, I'm talking about bass as in bottom line communication, you know? It's an expression of, I don't know, it's like an attempt at understanding. Sometimes it's ugly, but, you know, negative, but a lot of times it's positive. And of the negative, I think more or less comes positive because you're expressing yourself. So I don't know. I look at it a lot more on an individual level these days than I do as on a mass scale. Because, you know, because so many things go on that I think are ridiculous, you know what I mean? That I have my own ideas about hardcore, you know what I mean? More for myself than for anybody else. Something good comes and some ignorance is a byproduct of it, you know what I mean? Ignorance is a byproduct of forward progress. I mean, you're gonna get people who are just gonna imitate the look and the sound. The sound of hardcore music generally is very aggressive and strong. Some people's minds don't really see the underlying theme. They just see the hardcore for face value, and they think it's about being tough. Now, I'm not into that, you know what I mean? I mean, I know guys that are tough guys that are really into hardcore. It's not just people that fight can't be into hardcore, because they can. I mean, people are different, everyone has their own way of being, but I think that, I mean, it's supposed to be a positive thing, man. I don't want to sit and waste my life doing something negative. To me, it's positive. To me, it's I'm letting my soul bleed, you know what I mean? I get up there and I'm disturbed, my mind's like always spinning and racing, and my mind's going from one topic to another. You know, you feel sad, you feel happy, you feel this. But the only time it really all comes together and you get to let it out and bring it all together is when you're up on stage playing. So I think that it's a great thing. And as far as the tough guy thing, hey, some people are just, you know, more violent by nature, but people that are acting tough because they're trying to emulate something that they think hardcore's about, they're fucking dead wrong, you know? Then there's no room for that. They're only gonna destroy the scene, you know what I mean? People say, oh, respect, respect, unity, but if that's only amongst your little group, then that's not real respect. Respect is respecting differences in people, you know what I mean? The bottom line, if someone's heart is good, you know, that's what counts. I mean, whether how they dress, how they act, what music they listen to, what color they are, man or woman, that doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Dietary preferences, that means nothing, you know what I mean? What matters is you know, are you conscious of what you do? You know what I mean? Do you try to do the right thing, you know? It's like, it's a matter of you have a conscience, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more of a communication along those lines. Respect is like respecting differences, not wanting to beat somebody down because they're different, you know what I mean? Or someone says, I don't like your band. Hey, you don't have to like my band, you know? That's up to you. That's you know, that's your own business, not my, you know, I don't care what kind of music you like. I mean, I do, but I don't, you know what I mean? You can be you and I can be me and we can still be friends. That's respect, I think. You know, treating people in a decent manner. I mean, women's place in hardcore is what they make of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they should be discriminated against because they're women. I think women have the right to enjoy, you know, hardcore or anything as much as a man does. And I think the people that discriminate against women are only insecure about themselves. As far as girls, a lot of girls in hardcore I know were really into it. Matter of fact, in the old days in New York, a lot of bands had female bass players. I'd like to see more of that coming back. You know what I mean? Always classic to have a girl on bass, but. You know, women's place in hardcore is whatever they make of it, and as you know, as long as people don't try to stop them from having their spot and doing their thing, there's really, you know, there should be no line separating men, women, you know, black, white, punk, skin, whatever you want to call it. It should all be, you know, it's all the same. We're all here because we're all, at least to me, it's all about unity. It's all about understanding. It's all about getting along, not judging somebody for how they look, how they act. Everybody's different, you know, and the whole reason I came to hardcore is because people would discriminate against me because I was a freak, even though I didn't look like a freak, but mentally I was a freak, or at least I felt like I was. And when I came to hardcore, I wasn't really discriminated against. I mean, I was, because there's still factions of society within hardcore, but I think it's more open. It's more like people understand each other. Everyone's trying to open themselves up and express themselves. So I think that hardcore shit is about being open-minded, not closed-minded. Therefore, I think that women's place is a woman's place is a woman's place. Just like it's a man's place is a man's place. They're an individual. It's a human being's place. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference. I think it's a way for, not just exclusively, but it's a way for the youth to express their anger and angst towards the fucked up society that we all live in. I think that you get to channel your aggressions in a positive way. I mean, not every band is positive, but generally as a whole, unity runs as a theme, and it's a positive movement. I think that, I mean, my mother comes to see me play, and she says she never felt better in her life. It makes her feel full of spirit, and that's the whole idea. It's supposed to make you feel, you're supposed to bring your soul alive and bleed your, it's supposed to like bleed your, the ugliness that the world stacks upon you. You get to bleed it out in a positive way by expressing yourself. I don't know, I was like when I was a kid, I was like all fucked up, you know what I mean? I was like a freak, I guess, you know what I mean? And whatever, in my own head, maybe I was a freak. I don't know how to explain it, but when I started going to hardcore shows, you know, I didn't get along with anybody in school. Not that I didn't get along with them, but I didn't relate to anybody, you know? I had some friends and stuff, but they weren't like my friends that that understood me. And then I started going to hardcore shows and ran into other freaks who didn't fit in either, you know what I mean? And I didn't fit in, not fit in the way I looked. It wasn't a fashion statement, you know what I mean? I didn't fit in how I felt. You understand what I mean? Yeah. It's not how you look, it's how you feel. You know what I mean? That's a very important point, I think.
I think it was something in '78 with the whole punk scene, the first punk rock scene. You know, we've been in there. You know, we all hang up in Berlin. It was a straight big movement in Berlin, and from '78 and punk rock, you know, I mean, there was the way like a lot of people, you know, in the end of the '70s, the beginning of the '80s, we, you know, moved to like a new scene. We basically created like all together like a new scene from like no future to like let's go in the future. Let's make plans, like switch political actions, you know, from like making bombs and just destroy to like maybe we can create something, you know. So this was actually the way to getting into hardcore, I think. punk to hardcore, because like I said, we started in '78, so that's from the roots punk. It's a lifestyle, and for that lifestyle there was a creation like in the early years, because punk rock hardcore was basically kind of the same anyway from the early years, and when it started, you know, it was a creation from the lifestyle, from a certain people who've been just sick from society, government, from rules, from whatever, and the point, you know, what came from, then it created a kind of like music, a music against establishment, and so basically the music was a war against the society, against the government, against whatever you feel sick of that part, you know, was more important for you. But in first place, it's like a lifestyle. And if you don't understand it, you can't explain it to somebody, it's just there. It's an equal thing. I know so many women, and basically if you look back in the early 80s, hardcore was made by women, not by men. Men was, you know, the people in the bars, the guys who fighted against the cop, the girls been the guys who created the network. Like here in Europe, for example, it was basically like a lot of women, especially the women power, who brought the bands over, who organized shows, who organized record stores, who organized, you know what I mean? Especially in hardcore in the early 80s, it was like a lot of female power who made a part of that creation of the network. You know, the guys are mostly too busy to prove himself. You know, so that's no question to make, or at least try to make a difference out of it, because everybody's totally equal in it, and everybody has a part.
Oh God, you can hear a fucking pin drop. Talk amongst yourselves, it's okay. Really. Don't look at me for your sole source of entertainment. You're all grown men and women here. You know how to act in public, don't you? He's made it down the show. Oh shit, that's fucked up. Well, so what's the matter? What did somebody fart over here? One of you fucking faggots move up. What's the matter? What are you afraid? You scared? Come on, big tough Belgians like yourselves, stuffing your faces with waffles all your life and you can't move up to the stage? Come on, you eat enough cheese, you should have some fucking calcium in your system. Hey, this next song is the title track of our new album. Oh, you know it. Good, so then I don't expect you to be staring at me like a bunch of retards. It's called Love Song for the Unloved. Alright, no boys. Anyway, this song is about the trial and error of marriage, of course, which I know nothing about, because I've never been married, and much like Morrissey, I probably never will. I'll tell you right now, Morrissey's probably more of a man to admit something like that than half of you tough guys in here tonight. And he's a hell of a lot cuter.
Your life, you got me at your own game. Take a trip with me, more soon I will sin. Without one regret, the pain will begin. As the night got deeper, more going down the fight. And you know the price you'll pay, that price is with your life. Suffering and pain, like nothing in your past. I walk the walk, and my plan will be your last. day. So you trip with me, for soon I will sing. Without one regret, the pain will again. As the night got deeper, we'll go that fight. And you know the price you'll pay, that price with the life. Suffering and pain, like nothing in your past. I walk the walk, and my path will be your last. Path will be your fucking last.
It's the dressing that's on the inside, not the outside.